Good evening. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday night. I know I'm having a Monday night and I'm trying to keep warm. I hope you're keeping warm. It is finally winter for the first time since I moved back to Missouri. We have winter. It's here. It exists. There's snow-ish. There's cold. It came. So, hope you're having an okay night. Hope you're staying warm. Hope you're keeping cuddled. It is National Cuddle Up Day. I hope you're cuddling up with someone or something important and warm and fuzzy. Preferably a galumphalump or a chunderbutt. That's who I cuddled with a little bit today. I thought I typed woo. Oh. So yeah, it's Monday night. It's Monday night, and that means that it's time to doodle some doodles, as we doodly do on Monday night. Currently there's just a handful of weird crap on the wheel, stuff I put on the wheel because we did everything from 2024. We got it all off the wheel before the end of the year. So currently on the wheel we have Pet Mimic, Cave Smeech, Demon, which is the next creature in the 100 creatures challenge after our eyeballed angel from Monday night or from Friday night, a daily zombie, and then I'm also participating in an art challenge called Fanuary, which is just a bunch of prompts that I am very behind on, and so I put the next prompt on there. But if you want to add something to the list that is not on the list, you want to add something your doodle, something you want seen drawn, now would be a wonderful time to do that before I spin for the start of the night. Leo, how's it going? I hope you're having a good night. Hope you're staying warm. I don't know what the weather is like up there in the far northern reaches of southern Missouri Springfield, but down here in the foothills of the Ozarks, it's cold, but we only got a little tiny bit of ice and snow. We did not get hammered nearly as bad as some other people I know. I have family that got 20-25 inches plus snow, and a lot colder than what it got to be here. We got a little bit of ice, a little bit of snow. We're supposed to get it again, but we'll see. I'm protected. I'm shielded by Arkansas. The heat from the dumpster fire that is Arkansas just keeps it nice and warm here, I think. Springfield was fine. That's good to know. A lot of my family is in the Kansas City area, and they got hammered. So, if anybody is curious, I'm drinking this bubbly stuff that came with my soda stream. Well, actually, it came with my dad's soda stream. I already had one, and he got his own, and he hates it. I don't like it either. It's not super great. Bubbly. I know that your whole thing is that you are unsweetened, but put some sweetener in your stuff. I'm an American. I like diabetes. Did you see the radar image of the storm approaching the East Coast? I did see that image, and I shared it with some people. Actually, there was a conversation about where I was located and why I was warm and cozy in the underfolds ish area. We'll use those words, not the words we actually use in the conversation. But oh yeah, I saw that. I thought that was pretty funny. If nobody has anything they want to add to the wheel, I'm gonna go ahead and spin so we can get started. I spent 3 hours Friday night drawing one image, and it turned out pretty good. I was pretty happy with it. But I'm gonna go ahead and spin. Spin, 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 spin. Cave Smeech. Boop, boop, boom.
Cave Smeech.
Okay, so how this came about. This is kind of a joke. So on last night, I guess it was yesterday, I was helping Paraman fix his Smeech bot. And his Smeech bot is what relays his chat from one stream to another. He streams on multiple platforms at one time. And his Smeech bot needed an emoji, so I created a Smeech bot emoji, and this is what I did. And he comes in 3 colors: red for YouTube, purple for Twitch, and green for OG Smeech bot. And then I went into his live stream last night. Before I went to bed, I just popped in to say hello, and he was playing a prequel game to a game he was playing, and his character name was Pre-Smeech, and I was like, I wonder what a Pre-Smeech would be like a cave Smeech. So what we're looking at here is like a Neanderthal version of Smeech. That's the idea that we're going with on this this drawing. And I should add him to the currently drawing list so people know we're drawing a cave Smeech. And I have a couple of ideas for some like weird shape language stuff that I want to do, because the Gumdrop Goblins are all basically shaped like this, right? They're all basically inappropriately shaped creatures. And cave dudes are shaped like this. So that's the shape language mixture here. I want to add these two together. And I think that the language we want to go with is like a little head, and then something like this, so that we could have like one of these things. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Does Smeech have bones? Because how well pronounced a brow bone seems to be a stereotype. Good point. No one knows. No one knows the physiology of a Gumdrop Goblin. They're immortal creatures, so like you can't like dissect one. But that's a good point. A well pronounced unibrow even would be an excellent addition to the the language, the character design language here. So we're just gonna come up here and flare out, and then let's draw in that brow ridge before we draw any of the rest of this creature in. And then Smeech eyes. And bubblegum Gumdrop Goblin mouth here. A little squared off head, maybe. If you know what would be funny is a prehistoric Smeech had legs and evolution gradually diminished them. like what if like prehistoric Gumdrop Goblins were just goblins? Maybe a little something like this. And like literally their head ridges started as big ol' ears. They're just goblins. Like tiny legs you love on an exaggerated body. Yes, well, yeah. Obviously. Yeah, obviously we would have to go. You're right. Oops. Clear layer. We would need little tiny legs. Big old body. And then just Smeech on top as a head. Fill the ears. So right here. Shrink this down. And then we could even actually bring this down like this, just elongate him out a bit. My initial, I would make the wardrobe easier to achieve, I suppose. Yeah. My initial thought was just flat out having like my normal Smeech with a leopard spot unitard and a big old eyebrow. So like that's also a possibility. All kinds of ways this could go, you know? This is why I love these guys, because their shape language is so simple and they can do so many things. Maybe they all have the features in time lead to a smaller, rounder, mostly featureless blob. Maybe they have all the features in time led to a smaller, rounder, mostly featureless blob. Maybe humans become Smeech. Oh, that's a possibility. There's so many choices here. I think when we come down to the character design, we have to go, what makes a Smeech, right? And to me, there are three things that make a Smeech. One is that tongue. Smeech is all tongue. Two is just big dumb eyes. Draw some white dude and confuse everyone. That's true. I feel like that defeats the point of the character challenge, design challenge, though. And number 3 on Smeech is flappies. Like, Smeech doesn't have arms. Smeech has flappy little wing things. And like I said, the easiest route to go is always just the SpongeBob route. You know, the classic cartoon route of just taking the same character you normally have and putting it in a leopard print outfit and giving it a unibrow. The flappies used to be his ears. And maybe a club. So I have done a lot of variant Smeeches over the years. Smeech likes to cosplay. Smeech will put on a costume all the time. So I've put Smeech like with like one big tooth. Yeah. Now Smeech normally has tusks, but we'll just make one squared off tooth. Over the years, I have drawn Smeech. Right now, if you go to Paraman's channel, on the emotes, he has a Smeech with a Chocobo outfit on, Smeech with a Moogle head, Smeech. When he was playing Final Fantasy, I did a transition that was a Smeech like jumping as a dragoon. I have a little animation that is 4 different Smeeches. It's all Smeech, but they're spelled like SMEECH, SME with a hard pronunciation mark over it, CH, SM33CH, and they're basically classic Final Fantasy characters with Paraman's head as the boss fight that they're in. And so they're like warrior, red mage, white mage, black mage, or something like that. So I've done a Smeech in a lot of different costumes before. I'm naturally inclined to go this route right here. This is my primary inclination. But I also like the idea of taking basically the same design and seeing if we can't warp it a bit into something a little more bulky and prehistoric. So like, can we maybe take some of this shape and flush it out even more into that Dorito shape I like, that I think is funny? You know, can we get some of that kind of big bulky bits going on? That means this little flapper over here would come over here, and then again bring that down. And this is you gotta remember, this could be like leopard print, leopard spotty. Yeah, definitely the unibrow is the way to go. Because Smeech does have eyebrows. Oh, and I don't know, did I show these off? Did I show these off on Friday? I don't remember if I did or not. I just printed off some sticker prototypes from some stuff we've been drawing on the stream. I couldn't remember if I showed those off. Smeech does have eyebrows, though. I was like, I have a Smeech sticker around here somewhere. I thought, but all I've got is Smeech Chocobo sticker. Anyway, I think we're gonna go this route here. I think this works. I think this gives the most fun. I've been handing out my, that's awesome. I'm glad you've been getting use out of them. I like when a design can become a sticker. So I want to keep him. One of my favorite things about the Gumdrop Goblins is that they elicit themselves so well to the sticker designs. So I want to kind of keep that going. And here is a question we have to ask ourselves as we're doing this, as we're putting together Cave Smeech here. Is this Smeech as a caveman? Okay. I think let me brains multiple thoughts at a time. One question we have to answer is this a Smeech as a caveman, or is this a primordial Gumdrop Goblin, meaning that this Gumdrop Goblin needs a new name? Okay, that's a question we're gonna have to answer. The name I proposed on Paramon's live stream when I came up with the idea to draw this was SMUDGE. Like smash and Smeech combined. So instead of legs, extend the body just a little bit to where he moves forward like a snail. And I think what we're talking about is maybe coming back. Let me actually put this on a different layer here so you can see it a little cleaner. Change this color up. So here's what I'm thinking you mean. So like the body curls like this and then comes back. Like it's got a little draggy trail. And then the little ridges come down. These little wing ridges things. I think this is a separate Gumdrop Goblin who's just really old. A really old Gumdrop Goblin. From the before 4 times. Named SMUDGE. Also, I'm glad that I did that in green because it looks like he's got a little slimy poof. Sure, if you like, again, just tossing stuff out there. I kind of do like it. Yeah, I think I do. I think I like it. Also, what if, okay, we know that like we've been making our Gumdrop Goblins have really, really big tongues. What if their ancestors had smaller tongues. Something like that. And then also, just for fun character design stuff here, this club should be a big bone. Have you thought about a daily Smeech like you did zombies? I could do a Smeech every day. That could be a possibility. Today was 361 zombies. So I have 4 days left to the 365 daily zombie challenge. I have to make up my mind as whether or not I'm going to continue doing daily zombies. I could do both. I could honestly do both characters every day. Honestly. I have fallen in love with the daily zombie. I want to actually expand the zombie into being more than just like this gimmick. I want to make like more storytelling with the zombie. So this is my rough sketch design. I think this is what I'm going with for Smooch. What do you guys think? What if also I think I'm going to do one more little thing. Doing one little like pointy tooth on top. Because honestly, the actual Smeech statuette, the smaller tongue could be the correlation to the caveman brain. He becomes more intelligent the larger his tongue gets. That was the subroutine going on in my brain. I was thinking about that. Like, the bigger their brain, the tongue, the smarter the more advanced the Gumdrop Goblin. I think this is my design. I like it actually quite a bit. This is fun. This is a fun character design. I really do find that the more fun I have when I'm drawing something like this, the better the art comes out. And I was watching another YouTuber talking about creative burnout and avoiding it. And one of the things they were talking about was the amount of fun they have doing their creative process determines whether or not they get burnt out. And usually the more fun they have doing their creative process, the better they feel like their work turns out. And I was like, I know exactly how that feels. I say it all the time. If I have fun drawing it, people will have fun looking at it. A flipper out approach felt like a good way to start this cave Smeech here. And then I think probably, actually, I'm just going to try this mouth here. I've been making that noise all day today. I don't know why. Just a little lightsaber noise in the snow. It might be because it's hothy in parts of the country right now. And hoth-esque is definitely a appropriate adjective sometimes for winter wastelands. I'm not happy with the way this line art is looking right at the moment. I think I'm going to try doing some of the stuff I've been doing, but with thicker lines. Try some thicker line art. Smeech is more cartoony. It definitely use some thicker lines. And like, I did some pretty thick lines on Smooch and Smidge. Not that thick. That's a little too thick. There, that's more like it. since I started practicing with dynamic line art, I'm like becoming more critical of it, I think. One of those things where you just start to work on a thing and then opportunities to really improve that thing seem to show up more. You just, once you start to understand certain aspects of the process, you're like, oh, I could do this and this and this. And since I've been really focusing on doing some line art improvements, I have been finding myself focused more and more on it. And I think part of that has been really wanting to, I'm gonna move this tooth over here to balance out the other one. Really been wanting to work more, like I said, one of my big goals for Q1 of 2025 is to do a coloring book. And the more I work on coloring book style art, the more I realize, like, I really want to master the solid black and white storytelling. I forgot the name you thought of for this guy. My brain is thinking Smudge, like he came from the sludge. Oh, that's actually better. The name I came up with was Smash. Like with 2 A's. Like, Hulk Smash. But Smudge is actually a better name. You know, that's 4 of the five vowels used up. We're almost out of the ability to draw more Gumdrop Goblins. But when I was working on my Chrono Trigger Frog today, I spent a lot of time just doing the line art and was like, oh man, this almost feels like a piece that has depth without the need for art, for color and shading. And then I was like, that's what I've always wanted to do. I don't know if I have talked about it on the stream. I know I've talked about it with people in general. I kind of have always wanted to draw black and white, like there's a certain style of like 90s black and white ink art that is kind of post Frank Frazetta, punky goth industrial inspired art. It was very prominent in Palladium role-playing game source books in the 90s. And I've always loved that style and wanted to learn how to master it. And most of my attempts in the past have really kind of sucked. If I'm being honest, like I wasn't ever happy with them. The art did not come out the way I wanted it to. And I feel like I might have just been in the wrong headspace at the time, maybe, and needed to focus on a different stuff for a while. Because I felt like, as I've been, like I said, working lately in this, like we're really trying to master dynamic line art and just playing with it so much, I feel like I finally started to understand what I was doing, understanding why I wasn't happy with all of that art I was doing before, and starting to get a kind of a grasp on how I want to do that as an artist. And so it's been fun. It's been this last month or so of really starting to figure out how I want to approach art in a way that fits with that kind of desire, and also just the cartoons that I naturally draw, has been a fun learning experience for me. I feel like I've really actually advanced some and picked up some new skills that I've wanted to hone. So it's been good. And you would think that going through a year of hardcore, like 16-hour a day drawing sessions, I should have learned some things. So, yay for me for probably doing that. Oops. So now I'm torn because I do like Smash, but also I like Smudge. So now I got a decision I have to make. Paramon's not here. I would make him make the decision. You know, I'd be like, Paramount, get your act together and tell us which one you prefer. Smeech and Friends, after all, is a world populated inside your head. I feel like Cave Smeech is not going to be a regular recurring appearance on Smeech and Friends, though. Like, this is for an episode where they go back in time, or he gets frozen in a. They wake him up from a block of ice. Smash seems so on the nose. Smudge could just be future idea for a Smeech. That's true. A real dirty Smeech. A real dirty gumdrop goblin named Smudge. Oh, yeah. This is good. This is the good stuff here. That sweet brain drugs going. Oops. Don't want it to be quite that thick in the front line here. Yeah, and I feel like Smeech and Friends would just be a SpongeBob clone. That's the vibe I would get from a cartoon based on these characters. SpongeBob clone set in a fantasy world. Although I guess SpongeBob can afford to pay his mortgage payment on his pineapple on his part-time burger flipping job. So SpongeBob does live in a fantasy world. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants. And just picking up this bottle. Just enough to make it have a little bit of extra shit. And really, I'm glad I did that 10 cartoon cartoon styles challenge with the Daily Zombie, because I actually learned a lot of stuff from that challenge. And I've drawn all of those cartoons before in my life, but like really trying to take the style and translate it to new work is what finally kind of snapped some of those lessons into my head. And I guess that's the point though, because that's like what you're supposed to do with a master study. Is you look at what the masters did, and then you don't try to do that again. You try to use those lessons. Just the idea of him being sentient as a sponge. Well, there's certain concessions that you give to the premise of the show, right? Like, and then I'm actually. So my original intention was to have the back of his little thing he's wearing going through there, and then I colored it in because it would be in the shadow behind him. But it detracts from his silhouette, so I'm removing it. And here. Sticking up this line where his little thingy hangs over him. Yeah, what if you just smudge, smash, smudge, smash. Trying to find a voice. Smudge, smash. You can't draw a character without giving it some kind of voice. Like that's the law of cartooning. And then we're just gonna give it little leopard spots on his I don't want to call it a unitard, but caveman outfit. I don't know. His cave toga. Leopard skin that he's wearing, I guess. So, the sentient fish people of Bikini Bottom is actually science fiction. His mouth is definitely mouthing smash. Yeah. There is a popular fan theory that Bikini Bottom is just off the coast of Bikini Island, which is where the US government tested some early nuclear weapon prototypes. And the theory states that the fallout, the radiation from testing those prototypes, caused the community there, the animals under the sea, to become sentient and develop human-esque culture. Cave toga. Yeah. Yes, his cave toga. And that is why SpongeBob can't hang out with David Hasselhoff. Is because they actually are in the real world, the human Earth world that we live in. Oh, there we go. I think that's good. I think that's got it. I think that's got it. For it, to it, do it. Delete that. Although I do think, I think there. It's like I've drawn him slightly off kilter because I think I have my canvas tilted and didn't realize it. So I think this is our line art. I think this looks really fun. This is a fun design. We'll start with tongue. It starts with tongue. And then we'll do whatever needs to be white, because that's easy. So eyes, teeth, bone. We have to decide on a color of Smudge. Smudge needs his own color for his outfit, or for his skin tone. Now that would be easy. Like I said, if he was just a caveman version of Smeech, he'd be green and orange, because that's what Smeech's color pattern is. But if Smudge is his own smudgy ancestor, he would need a different color pattern. Although he could still be green and orange. Like, there's nothing that says he can't be. But maybe he's inverted. Although I did try the inverted colors pattern with Smeech and didn't like it very much. So, like, green and orange. Because really he looks too much like a carrot. A duller color, maybe, like a dirtier shade of something. You know, like, I think, what if we bring him back to green and orange? And then came in with a little bit of brown all over him. Like, just a brown and, like, just kind of brought that color in over, like, the multiplier. Or just a hue. Ooh, that's actually not bad. It's not bad with him being a little brown and orange there. I kind of like him. Little chocolate colored. We brought that down. Need a little more, just a little more, get a little more. Oh, like an olive green. Like he's an olive green. That looks pretty good as you had it with the swap colors you tried first. I thought the character was cute with the orange skin and the green hair flappy things, right? My only problem with that was that he looked a little bit like a carrot. The brown does give an impression of a creature that has no home. He has a home. He lives in a cave. He lives in a out in the environment all day. Especially if we come back in here. What if we brighten up his cave toga? Oops, actually, I want it to be more yellow. Really brighten up his cave toga, like a bright yellow color. And yeah, like a little brighter color on his cave toga. He is basically a cartoon character. Also, that tongue is exceptionally saturated. So I'm going to bring that back to a normal pink. I like this. Smash is a man of the land. The world is his home. I dinosaur for food. World is his home. I think this is the final design I'm going to go with. I was going to do some shading now. And 0. So let's see. We want a light source here. There's our light source. So that means this would be shaded. And that would be shaded. Ugh. This whole side of his body could be shaded over here. I like actually I did not draw any kind of perspective design into the little tail bit coming off of him. And I actually like that the cartoonist in me likes that bit of character design, that he has just a little sludgy thing coming off of his side, whichever direction is opposite his face. So, like, you never really, it's one of those cartoon design choices where you're like, I don't understand what this is. And the answer is it is. It just is what it is. Like, live with it. I like it. I think that's fun. And mostly that became a thing because I forgot to run his back wings all the way down it to show that it was kind of a tail. And again, I did not do any kind of perspective to make it look like it's coming out of his back. It is full on just coming out of his side. But that's one of those things that you would like actually note in a character design log. So speaking of doing my character my style challenge that I was doing, I actually read there's a website that had Bruce Timm's character design log for Batman the Animated Series. And one of the things that it said in there was like both ears are always visible even in perfect profile. There have been multiple conversations about getting Smeech turned into a plushie. A lot of people would probably appreciate, well, a handful of people would probably appreciate a plushie Smeech. The problem with doing that is that we would have a minimum order quantity that we would need to guarantee we sold in order to be able to put the cost of development in. So, at some point in the future, there's a good possibility Paramin and I might be able to talk him into doing a pre-sale or like a Kickstarter or something, like a crowdfunded Smeech plushie sale where we would do pre-orders, because if we couldn't get enough pre-orders, we wouldn't be able to afford to have him made. But that's not the first time it's come up. We definitely have had that come up before. One of the things I used to tell Paramin all the time in my marketing phase days was like, he needs to use Smeech more in general because he is so marketable. Because it would be easy to make him into a plush toy. And I've sold a dozen Smeech stickers to people who have no idea what Smeech is, right? Like, so, all right. I think this is Smudge Smash. I'm gonna make him bigger. Make him even bigger if I can. Where's the center? There we go. Stretch from center is as big as he'll go. Smudge Smash. I think what I'm gonna do a thing. I am going to put this character up on my Instagram story with a poll to name Smudge or Smash. We will let the world decide. And like arms and legs on some characters or figures make the tongue posable. Oh, see, that we could probably do that. I did some research into what it takes to get a plushie done. Mostly because one of my favorite YouTuber, especially Final Fantasy YouTubers, Joe Cat, did a plushie of the little like kobold goblin dude that is his channel mascot, and talked about how that went into. And so I did into all of that like research mode, and basically you just go on Alibaba and you find a manufacturing house that can do what you want, and you have to get samples made. And like I said, there's minimum order quantity, and I think for a plushie, our minimum order quantity we're looking at is like 500. So we would have to be able to pre-sell like 300 of them just to be able to afford to do the order run. If that makes sense. But it is a thing I want to do. When I talk about I want Taco Viking to grow beyond just me drawing stickers into a full multimedia studio, one of my big, hairy, ambitious goals of an eventuality is to do like the concept of Smeech and Friends cartoon that Paraman has had in his head for a long time and try to make a Smeech and Friends cartoon, like make it a reality. So yeah, that's how I roll. But I'm pretty happy with this character. I think it came out great. This is a good character design. Uh, I have also, on more than one occasion, thought about opening up a commissions thing to do. What's the word I'm looking for here? Basically, draw you as a gumdrop goblin. Do your avatar. Make a gumdrop goblin to your specifications for you. All right, so I've brought the wheel back up. We've only got 4 things left on the wheel. We've got the daily zombie, because I haven't drawn you tomorrow's zombie yet, and I need to do one before I go to bed tonight. Pet Mimic. Pet Mimic is also a character from Smeech and Friends. So Smeech in his house, his dog, so to speak, is a mimic treasure chest. As weird as it sounds, tongue articulation would be a unique figure for a plushie. It would be awesome. It would actually be really cool. Something with the tongue. Even if the tongue was just like had a magnet in it and it can shoot it out and grab things, that would be pretty cool too. But yeah, that's when I say pet mimic, I mean like a treasure chest that behaves as a dog. Smeech also has in his house, his best friend is an elephant skull, talking elephant skull, that I believe may or may not be a demi-lich. The demon is the next creature from the 100 creatures challenge, and January day 2025 day 3 is Crimson, and like I said, that's just there so I can cheat and use your time to get caught up. So if you want to add anything to the list, now would be a good time to do that if you want to. No pressure if you don't. I'm okay either way. I am here to doodle and entertain you. And I'll do that however you need me to do it. Whatever's best for you. So yeah, that's what I'm here for. I am trying to like I said, I've been working on trying to get more towards coloring book design. I think there could be, honestly, the more I work on it, the more I realize that maybe I was intended to be a coloring book artist. Like there's a lot of fun to that. So yeah, I'm just stalling and rambling. It is 6 minutes till 8, and I'm just kind of rambling and stalling to give people time to put any suggestions they might have in the chat before I jump in and do the draws. Good art. So if you have suggestions, now's a good time to throw them in. In the meantime, I am gonna add a folder here. It is 2025 01 06. I keep all of the stream art in a special folder, and I keep it organized by stream date. So now you know a little secret about how I keep my art organized. Also, I'm sending this picture of Smudge Match to Paraman. Like I said, we'll do a poll. We'll do a poll to see if we want to name him Smudge or Smash. Smudge or Smash. And now I want to create a new website that's Smudge or Smash. Swipe left to Smudge. Swipe right to Smash. Okay. I don't see anything else coming in the chat, so I'm gonna go ahead and spin the wheel and see what comes up next. Spin it. Spin, 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 spin. Well, there was a 25% chance.
That mimic.
So we're gonna keep on making Smeech and Friends characters here. Bloop. Boom. And we'll go ahead and update the currently drawing to Pet Mimic. All right. It's pretty great. Thank you. All right. So we need our sketch in purple, magenta. Let's start with a little boxy body. That's how we're gonna start, which is a little boxy body here. And nail across like that. Not sure. Oh, how I want. There we go. That's probably better. All right. I said, still not entirely sure how I want this character to work, because I know. So the things I know is that it's a mimic. If you're not familiar with mimics are the best creatures in Dungeons and Dragons. They're little abominations that pretend to be inanimate objects, and then when you touch them, they get stuck. You like physically get glued to them, like their skin is made of an adhesive, and then they devour you. You know, like you do. And they're often disguised as treasure chests. Like that's their primary, their go-to thing is treasure chests. I'm not happy with the way that looks at all. So I'm gonna do what you do when you're not happy with the perspective on your art. And I'm gonna draw a box. Draw a box. Probably gonna end up drawing 2 boxes actually. Yeah, they'll do a box for the body and a box for the lid. We got a little body lid box here. Go back in here. I turn my grid on. I use my grid to count so often. When I don't have it on, I can't draw. That's how I am. So you are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is about right there. Like that. So that's the bottom. And then we'll come in here and draw in another box. Like this. To be the top of the mimic. All right, that works a little better. See, it's when in doubt, draw a box. That's the art lesson that many of us never got and always needed. When in doubt, draw a box. It has served me well since I discovered it. The trick of fundamentals. It'll serve you well too. And then we can come in and carve the box. So just trying to draw a little pirate treasure chest shape thing here. Like that. Same here. I should have done this before I erased my bits of my box. So we'll bring them back. Oh wait, I forgot to totally. That's why. Also, when you draw a box for your guides, draw the whole box. Like, put that back there. It helps. It helps the art. So we got that, and then the same thing over here. Now we can erase all the bits that are not private, not treasure chest. So that, and just bring this across. So that's just outside lid. There we go. There we go. Wow. Okay, so I've got the treasure chest shape done now. So now I have to ask myself, how do I turn this into a pet? How do I make this a little dog mimic thing? Squish him. I'm gonna squish him a bit. Squish him a bit. Make him a little cuter, a little boxier. Wah, wah, wah. So I know this is going to be a hard edge here, hard edge here. Where am I going to put the eyes? Where am I going to put the eyes on this guy? A lot of mimics would have their eyes kind of sticking out of the treasure chest. Like this would be all black. This would be all black inside with these eyes popped up like this. And then we can do like a lock thing here that has two keyholes in it, like its nostrils. That could be kind of fun. And do little bands down here. And then if we just like roughed this in like this was wooden planks here, right? Like, you just come in here and pretend like these are wooden planks. And then folded one, bent it down like that. Brought this one up like a little mouth. Like that. That could be fun. That could be good. The last time I did mimics on this was the last time I've drawn a mimic was literally when I did the Christmas mimics back in September. So trying to be a little different, a little more fun here. And then the other thing about mimics, and probably one of the reasons they are amongst my favorite creatures, they have tentacles and tongues. And sometimes their tentacles and tongues are the same thing, so they're like tongue-ticles. So we're just going to have one coming out like this. And we'll draw it like it's a tentacle, but then we'll put like some like drool like it's a tongue. There's a little slime on there, but also like a little underbelly bit. So that's kind of fun. That's a fun little design there. I'm not mad at this. I like it. I'm not sure it's reading pet though. You know what I mean? I might have just drawn a mimic, really. Yeah, but I like it. I like it. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep working on it. I'm gonna actually refine the sketch with a more detailed sketch this time. I don't generally have to refine my sketch for a more detailed sketch with a Gumdrop Goblin because they're not particularly detailed characters. So I guess that's a lesson I should probably learn. Like, this character should probably not be any more detail. If it's the same universe, it should not be any more detailed than a Gumdrop Goblin. Like, Smeech's detail should be the most detailed thing in the universe because that's really the way cartoons work. Like, if you look at the character design in a show like SpongeBob, SpongeBob actually has some of the most detailed character design in the show. Like, that's how simplified everything is. There's surprisingly more detail. But you don't want too much detail because you have to draw it 12 times a second to 12, sometimes between 12 and 24 times a second, you know? So you want it to have detail, but not too much detail. That was actually something also that was cool on that page I saw about the art of Bruce Timm, was that not only did they show like this is how the Batman animated series art book worked, like the thing that animators had to follow, but he had a separate, like he had one of the pages showed the differences between when he was doing the art for the cartoon and if he was doing it as an illustration for either like a title card or the comic book that took place in the animated series universe or a promotional art. In those situations, he had more detail in the character design work because not only did he only have to draw that image once instead of 12 times a second, but also because it was slowed, it was stopped. People would stop and look at it. Kitty Detective, how are you doing tonight? I hope you're staying warm out there in the Big Apple. And keeping hope alive in the world. You missed out. We already drew. We did a caveman Gumdrop Goblin who is tentatively named Smudge Smash, because I can't decide if I want to name him Smudge or Smash. I was gonna name him Smash, but then the name Smudge was offered by Tricerabear, and I really like it, and now I can't decide. So I'm probably gonna do a poll. And now I'm drawing a mimic, basically. And talking about the lessons I learned from doing the cartoon style challenge. Specifically, some of the stuff I learned from studying Bruce Timm. What about Smush? I don't know. Smush sounds like a gumdrop goblin in the world's oldest profession. Farming. I might just be drawing at an angle tonight. This is also not straight across the butt. The bottom. We love him. I caught when I came in, you were talking about Bruce Timm art. We love him. Bruce Timm is the GOAT. Bruce Timm is my personal favorite cartoon artist. Just flat out. In my opinion, if you ever ask me, like, who is the essential Batman, it will always be Batman the Animated Series. It will be Bruce Timm's Batman, Kevin Conroy's Batman, Mark Hamill's Joker. It was I actually started because I've been watching The Batman from 2004. And it's interesting because they tried a bunch of different stuff. They tried to take some different directions, go somewhere new. But it's not as good. That's okay. Things don't always have to be as good as other, sometimes something's the best and you can't beat it, so. But because I've been watching it, it's been making me nostalgic for Batman the Animated Series. And so I'm probably going to watch it again pretty soon. It's on Amazon Prime. So I don't have to worry about trying to get an HBO Max subscription up in this joint to watch some Batman. Although I'm going to admit something that might be an unpopular opinion. As much as I absolutely still believe the Batman the Animated Series is the best non-comic book depiction of Batman, period, hands down. In my opinion, the second best depiction of Batman outside of comic books is the Batman movie. The Batman, the movie, The Batman. With Robert Pattinson, with the Sparkle Pyre guy. Pattinson? I don't know his name. I know he was a sparkly vampire. The Super Friends cartoon was my first exposure to Batman. Adam West was the first time I was like, Batman is the best character. Michael Keaton was the agent who permanently implanted Batman into my brain. But Batman, the animated series, Kevin Conroy Batman will always and forever be the real Batman to me. Those are all valid things to feel. You know what's cool is Adam West is the mayor on the 2004 The Batman. It's a little weird. Because it's basically the same as Mayor West on Family Guy. He's not actually playing himself though on the Batman. And it's kind of interesting because a lot of people from Bruce Timm Batman era Batman are like pretty famous voice actors. So of course they show up in the show, but they're not voicing the same characters. Like an episode I just watched had Mark Hamill in it voicing a character, but he wasn't voicing the Joker. And my second favorite Batman, Will Friedle, voiced a character in the show. And of course, James Marsden voices a character, or Jason Marsters voices a character in it, but he voices a character in literally every cartoon made since like 1995. For those of you who don't know, Jason Marsden is he was the voice of Max Goof, was probably his biggest, most famous role. Outside of like the people who are really hardcore cartoon fans. But he was a child actor who transitioned to voice acting. And played himself basically on Boy Meets World. Literally, the characters was written in for him to play. It's Eric's best friend in the first couple of seasons, and the character's name is Jason Marsden, played by Jason Marsden. Because it was just written for him. He was originally going to be cast to play Eric in the show, but they realized that despite being like 5 years older than Ben Savage at the time, he was the same height as Ben Savage, and that Ben Savage was probably going to grow. Well, and he did grow like another like foot and a half taller. So they wanted a taller actor to play the older brother. And that's how Will Friedle got his role. And then Will Friedle, of course, voiced Terry McGinnis on Batman Beyond. And probably most famously to people who are not animation nerds, voiced Ron Stoppable from Kim Possible. I'm a cartoon nerd. I like all of the aspects of the cartoons. I like voice actors. I like illustrators. I like storytelling in animated format. It's my bag. It's my thing. I loves it. I loves it so much. I love it as much as the Galumpa loves food. Her favorite thing in the world. Food. I hope this thing on his face reads as a lock that just has 2 keyholes in it, because I wanted it to look like a nose. So if anyone's like, what the heck is going on there? That's what's going on there. And teeth. So I probably won't spend nearly as much time on this drawing as I did on some other ones. So if you want to go ahead and add something to the wheel, I'm going to recommend throwing it up in the chat right now. Because this guy's coming together pretty fast. And I'm pretty happy with it. And you know, when I'm happy with art, I move on from it faster. I don't futz around with it. Animated storytelling is better than live action because you don't have to think about how people you are looking at are pretending to be characters. This mimic is giving Angry Birds pig character. I'm okay with that. He's not really giving pet though. That's the problem. He's supposed to be a pet mimic, and it's not really giving pet vibes at all. But it's giving cute, and cute is the important part for me, right? Like, I draw cute things. I think I'm gonna come down. And just draw in individual end boards on this end of the treasure chest also. Because it wouldn't make sense. Wouldn't make sense for the chest to be. Where the he needs a leash or something. Maybe that's the way to go. I don't know. I think there's just a certain level of vibe for pet, and he's not giving off that vibe. So, I don't know. I'm drawing a mimic. I'm happy with it. Maybe I'll revisit Pet Mimic again at another time. Because here's what this is Smeech has a pet mimic, and I did all of the stream art for Paramon's stream, including all of his alerts and everything. When you follow him, like a thing comes up, and one of the things that comes up is a mimic comes down and licks the ground and then falls in a hole. And that's supposed to be Smeech's pet mimic. And I did that 7 years ago ish, and I want to update it, basically, is what it comes down to. So that's why I wanted to do this part. But I like this mimic that I've drawn. There's a little dude, there's a little character, a fun little character. Definitely going to eat somebody's D&D adventurer in the near future. But it just doesn't have the right vibe. It's all about vibes, guys. Gotta have those vibes. I didn't do a vibe check on the sketch, and now I'm lost. But the picture is good as just a mimic, so I'm cool. I'm good. I'm happy with it. Your character has to pass a vibes check is the type of thing that you probably don't want someone to tell you if you're teaching them how they're teaching you how to do character design. And that's why I don't do character design tutorials. I don't know. Maybe that is a thing that, like, maybe a lot of people are like, oh yeah, the character has passed the vibe check. That could very well be a legitimate, like, thing that comes up in job interviews or something for character designers, but it's part of my process anyway. Is if it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't feel like the character, the art, it doesn't matter how good the art is if it doesn't feel like the character or feel like the world the character is inhabiting. And that's just kind of where I'm at. Blam, 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 blam. So much black in the line art. And then I'm just gonna try to cheat some of this a little. Really, what I've done is I've decided I like doing this dynamic line art, and now I'm trying to figure out how to do it without spending like an hour and a half. That's my new goal, is to get faster at it now that I know what I'm doing. If we were doing D&D monsters, I would want to put Kawaii Mind Flayer on the suggestion wheel. Kawaii Mind Flayer can go on the suggestion wheel. That's fine. I'll put it on there. The wheel, the random wheel is meant to be random. Like, it doesn't have to be thematic. You know, the thematic stuff comes up when we're doing the Patreon theme, but that's because it's the Patreon theme. It's the whole point is the theme. Right now we're just doing wheel. So, if you want me to try to draw a Kawaii Mind Flayer, I will do my best. I could probably draw a cute Mind Flayer, and that's pretty close to a Kawaii Mind Flayer. But kawaii implies a certain chibi aesthetic that is not necessarily in my wheelhouse, but one I'm willing to give a go. One I am willing to try to do. You never know until you try, right? Like that's a important life lesson. You never know until you try. And I'm almost done with this. Like I said, I'm just trying to learn to do some things faster. There is a part of me that will always resist the idea that it's okay to be slower. No, get more done. Productivity! Productivity is all that matters. Someday I'm going to be in a place where I get to work with a therapist on figuring out exactly where that trauma comes from. Is it just generic American exceptionalism trauma, or do I have a specific thing that happened to me in my history that makes me believe that I really have to be super productive at all times? Mostly out of curiosity as to what the root is, not more than a need to be cured of it, because I am aware of it as a behavior, and so CBT tells me I should be able to change that behavior if I so desire. That is the way it works. One point in time, I actually considered getting a certification in neuro-linguistic programming for cognitive behavioral therapy assistance. And had I not had a panic attack every time I thought about cold calling people to become a life coach, I probably would have gotten that certification, because I do believe neurolinguistic programming is beneficial to a lot of people. The words we use, the language we use is important. It matters. It has an impact not on just on the world around us, but ourselves as well. Language is powerful, and you can use it to mind control yourself and others. Okay, this is my mimic. He is now line art. So I'm just going to color it in. And we'll go with a nice bright purple. That's too purple. That's too bright. Let's go with a subtle purple. Yeah, like that. And a green. You know, some Mardi Gras. We'll give him a Mardi Gras tentacle. And then more subtle green on the little slime bits. And then white eyes and teeth. There we go. And then, of course, we'll make the block yellow, gold, bronzy-ish. And everything else is a nice wood. Nice wood color. I'm a mimic. Let me eat your face. He doesn't want to eat your face because he's a mimic. He just wants to eat your face because he's a little weird. A little weird dude. It puts the lotion on its skin. The mimic wants you to put the lotion on your skin. Just remember that. If it asks you to, you say no. You take the hose. I don't know if this bulge here beneath the mouth is chin or lower lip. That's for you to decide as the audience. All right. And then let's come in here and go ahead and give it some shade around the eyes. Like the eyes are coming out of this darkness. So shading should ring around them like that. Mimic! What do you think? Is this mimicky enough? I think it turned out okay. Again, try to adjust it so it's sitting flat on the floor. But I am clearly having problems with drawing straight lines that are angled correctly tonight. So yeah, here was the mimic, and then for Yeti Detective who came in late, here is Smudge Smash. Smudge Smash Smush. So yeah, there's two drawings down. It's 8:30. We got time. We can do a third one. We can do a third drawing. I'll bring the wheel back here, and I'll pop it open. Let's see. We're gonna add. Oh, everything's running a little slow. Smush Smash. Come on. We're gonna add Kawaii Mind Flare. And then I'm going to change that to say Illithid because it fits on the wheel. So the current wheel sits at Demon, the next creature in the 100 Creatures Challenge. The demon is the next creature in the 100 Creatures. A daily zombie, a Kawaii Illithid, and January 2025 Crimson. So if anyone has anything else they want to throw in, now is your opportunity to get that in the chat while I archive our mimic from just a second ago. Also, I have to apologize. I'm really bad at getting the VODs up on the YouTube channel. It's become a low priority for me because like nobody watches them. But I need to do that so that people can have access to them. It's just one of those things that takes like 10 minutes of my time that I don't want to give up sometimes. Because I'm lazy. I'm a lazy bum. Okay, I'm closing it down. I'm closing down any opportunity to be on this wheel. Of course, you can always add ideas to the chat to get on the wheel at a later time. But let's spin this wheel for now. Let's spin it. Spin. Spin. Spin.
January 2020.
All right. Crimson Fanuary. Okay, so this is Fanuary is a little art challenge that was put together by Tony Helms, who's on Instagram as Tony Cartoonish. And it is 31 days of prompts, of art prompts. But here's the kicker. The prompts themselves are semi-random prompts. Like this one is crimson. But you can't just draw like a red piece of art. You have to draw a thing that you're a fan of inspired by that prompt. So like, as an example, the first prompt was robot and I drew Bender. The second part was frog and I drew Frog from Chrono Trigger. So the third prompt is up is crimson. And so we need to draw a fandom picture inspired by the prompt crimson. And this one's a little hard for me because I'm not entirely sure what direction I want to go with this. That's why I kind of stuck it onto the wheel to see if I could get any of you to do the work for me. So if I just start listing like things that I'm a fan of that are reddish, I'm gonna start with Knuckles from Sonic the Hedgehog. Like that's a thing we could go with. What are other things that are red? That's there is the wolf dude with a mohawk from Final Fantasy VII, who's reddish. I like the Flash. Be right back. My maniacal baby needs me. Oh, I hope his baby is not actually maniacal, because I wouldn't wish that on anyone. The Flash is red. Oh, what do you guys like that's red? I'm having a hard time here. I didn't think this through. I probably shouldn't have put this on the stream because I shouldn't have come onto the stream without knowing what I was going to draw. It's not good for entertainment. Ooh, Deadpool. I could do a Deadpool. This is Deadpool holding a katana. Deadpool can be counted as red. I think there's actually a character called Crimson Dynamo, but I'm not really a fan of that character, so not a thing that would necessarily benefit me. Actually, you know what? There is something I absolutely love that I don't think anyone else in this challenge would celebrate. A red character that is just the best thing in red that I can think of at the moment. A big, friendly galumphalump of a critter. Clifford, the big red dog. You know, can you go wrong? Can you go wrong with that? Clifford the Big Red Dog is the direction we want to go. I think that's where I'm going with Clifford the Big Red Dog. That's my fandom. I'm sticking to it. And the other piece of this is my personal twist on this is because I just did a styles challenge where I was basically drawing my original character in the style of other cartoons. I wanted to try to avoid using a lot of reference art on these characters because I want it to be fully in my style. So we'll start with a little dog head here. Maybe you should be looking down. After all, he is a dog. Dogs look down. Or he's a giant, I guess. Actually, the giants look down. So we'll do that. We'll start with a little dog head here. Looking down. No, that's too big of a snout. What type of dog is Clifford supposed to be? That's never been fully established, I don't think. This little upside down heart nose. I think he might be in they just recently made like a live action Clifford movie, and I'm pretty sure the dog in that movie is like a golden retriever they spray painted. So that's fun. And little doggy ears. And neck comes down. The little doggy butt. Little knee. Foot. That's too big. That's more rabbit. Hang on, I'm screwing something up here on this dog leg. I know I am. Sitting dog reference. See, still not looking at pictures of Clifford. This is what I needed. I needed to look at this so I could get the angle on this leg put together correctly. Like, there we go. Little doggy leg action here. Like that. And then little front paws coming down to stabilize there. I thought Clifford was a Great Dane. I don't think Clifford in the books is ever specified as anything other than a red dog. What is talking to me right now? The TikTok app. Apparently I opened it on accident. I don't think Clifford in the books is ever established as any particular breed of dog. I think he's just a big red dog. And he is big. Like, he's like house sized big. Although he started as Clifford the Little Red Puppy, but Emily Elizabeth loved him so much that her love caused him to grow to enormous size. There is in 2021, they made a live action movie. And I am telling you, I am pretty sure that in the live action movie, they took an actual golden retriever and spray painted it red to make it Clifford the Big Red Dog. So, like, I don't think, though, that he's supposed to necessarily be a Great Dane. just freakishly giant. That said, though, Great Danes are awesome dogs. I love them. I love all dogs. I don't know what I'm talking about. All dogs. And to be for the record, just for the record, because there's someone here that needs to hear this. Any dog under 35 pounds is a cat. That's a joke. Not exactly. There is definitely small dog syndrome, and small dogs act more like cats. I know, because I have 2 dogs. Well, I don't have any dogs. They're not my dogs. I refuse to take responsibility for them. I just feed them, walk them, play games with them, get cuddled by them. Anyway, there are 2 dogs living in my home, and they are both golden doodles. And one is a full-size golden doodle, and one is a miniature golden doodle. And the full-size golden doodle is the Galumphilump. All heart. She loves everybody and everything. Sweet as can be, and about as smart as a box of rocks. And then, ouch. I feel assaulted. George, the Chunderbutt, is a miniature golden doodle, and he is a little jerk face. He bullies the Galumphilump all the time. Yeah, he's a little monster. He has a small dog syndrome. Actually, he has I'm 4 and you're a year old. Almost. She's almost a year old. You have to do what I say, even though you are twice my size. That's really what it all comes down to. Also, he's incredibly spoiled. He's a very spoiled dog. I just like to say any dog under 35 pounds is a cat. But they're all little cuddle monkeys. And today's a good day to cuddle them. Because it's National Cuddle Up Day. And you know who loves to be cuddled? Dogs. You can very, very rarely will a dog turn down extra snuggles. This is pretty much all there is to drawing a dog. So now I just ink this in and make it red, and that's Clifford the Big Red Dog, right? I guess I need to put something in this image to imply that this is a big dog. So I guess we'll come down here and just draw an Emily Elizabeth. And I don't remember much about the style of this character, but I remember that she has hair like this. I'll actually make her a little bit bigger. He's supposed to be the size of a house, not the size of a skyscraper, so we'll go like to her knee, or to Clifford's knee. Again, just little blonde hair. And I'm pretty sure in the 90s Clifford cartoon, she wore like a schoolgirl outfit because she was in a private school. So she wore like a jacket and a pleated skirt. school uniform, I guess is the word we're looking for there. Actually, I think she should be over here. Clifford's like, I'm going to eat this entire village. And that's honestly, there's something there. I gotta throw that out there. I know how much the Lump eats, right? Like, she eats a lot of food and is always hungry. So Clifford has got to be eating the entire island. Just like feeding constantly. They don't talk about that in Clifford the Big Red Dog. They don't tell you that Clifford's ruining the economy and the ecology of an entire little town on an island. They live on an island. There's limited resources. You know, he's not the only dog either. He has little doggy friends. His little doggy friends have got to be going like, Clifford, stop eating all the dog food. And Clifford's sitting there going, I can't help it. I'm so hungry. Emily Elizabeth loves me so much. I just keep getting bigger and bigger. I sure hope her name is Emily Elizabeth and I'm not remembering that wrong. Otherwise, I'll look real dumb. Oh, giant boy. Yeah, I don't know how you would handle a dog that's the size of your house. Because I gotta tell you, a dog that's 70 pounds is a lot to handle. Can you imagine like Clifford wanting to get up in your lap? He started life as a tiny red dog, as a little red dog. He probably got used to being able to get cuddles and climb up in Emily Elizabeth's lap and get some cuddles before her love magically made him ginormous. And yes, that is the actual canonical reason for Clifford the Big Red Dog's size, is that she loved him so much that her love made him grow. Which also has some terrifying implications about Emily Elizabeth. Like, is she a witch? Is she some sort of creature, magical creature that has growth powers? Are her parents immune to her growth powers, or does she just not love them? Maybe they're just done growing and so her love doesn't impact them. But what if she ever has kids? If Emily Elizabeth has kids and she loves them as much as she loves Clifford the little red puppy, to grow him into Clifford the Big Red Dog, does that imply that she is the mother of giants? There's questions that someone in their world should be asking that are not being asked, and frankly, I'm terrified by that. Like, I'm glad that Clifford is a happy, healthy dog, but like, how is there not a government agency studying him? like the military implications alone of a little girl being able to love something so much that it grows to enormous proportions. And what if she's not this? What if she's not special? What if literally, like, if any kid loved as hard as she does, the thing they loved would grow enormous? The only way for us to discover these answers is to science it. I wonder if there's a theory community on Clifford the Big Red Dog. I like theory communities. I like theories. I like thinking too much about the things I love. I get in these conversations with my dad when I'm taking him and the dogs for a walk, and he'll be like, "You think way too much about this." I'm like, "That's the fun, man. The fun is thinking too much about it. You don't think enough about it. How is it that you don't have time to sit around thinking about the scientific nuance of a giant dog in a children's story?" You're retired. Like, what do you got to do? I'm the one that feeds the dogs. Okay, there's my line art. I'm pretty happy with that. I think that came out pretty good. This is a good giant dog with a little girl. So I'm going to turn off the sketch. Doop, doop. And we'll start with red, right? Like, that's the idea, is he's a big red dog, so we'll just make him red. Black nose. And then it's still a dog, so like big brown puppy eyes. Because like dogs have brown eyes. Most dogs have brown eyes. Some dogs have blue eyes. Some dogs like the Glumfalump's eyes are brown, but they're dark enough brown that they're almost black. But like dogs don't have red eyes. If a dog has red eyes, that means it has rabies, right? Clifford can't have rabies. There's too much love. And then like a blue blazer and a pink skirt. We'll do white tights. And we'll just have a little matching pink shoes. Little pink shoes on Emily Elizabeth. That's fine. She's not the centerpiece. She doesn't have to have a lot of detail. Clifford. Woof. Woof. Can you imagine how terrified the entire island would become every time Clifford was like playing with a toy that he really, really loved? Because, you know, when a dog plays with a toy they really love, they start making like really terrifying noises. And the bigger the dog, the louder and more amplified those noises would be. Like Clifford would be like, and it would just vibrate the entire world. Making Clifford noises just caused me to need to take a drink. That's my Clifford impression. I hope everyone enjoyed it. That's the best I got. All right, and we're just gonna shade some stuff in the background here. Keep it pretty simple because it's 9 o'clock and honestly, it's a little cold out here. So I wouldn't mind calling the stream on time tonight instead of going until like 10:30 like we've been doing the last few nights. Just have a nice quiet night. So that everyone has plenty of time to go and snuggle up, to cuddle up for National Cuddle Up Day. Cuddle up with the sweet monster in your life. Although both the Galumphalump and Chunderbutt should be in bed. They go to bed at 8:30. And they don't like to stay up late because they get a big milk bone before they go to bed or when they go to bed, and they don't want to miss out. They don't want to miss out on their milk bone. That's not good for them. They don't like that. And then because she's in his shadow, all of Emily Elizabeth should be shaded. He's blocking the moon. I think there is an episode of Drawfee out there somewhere where I think Nathan Yaffe draws a version of Clifford the Big Red Dog and Emily Elizabeth as like Dark Souls boss. I'm back. Did we already talk about whether Clifford is a kaiju? I did not talk about whether or not Clifford is a kaiju. We have in the past discussed like how big a kaiju can be, like how small it can be and still be a kaiju. And Clifford is house size, so he'd be on the small end for a kaiju. He'd be on a small kaiju. But could actually be one because he is a giant monster. So this is my Clifford. This is my Clifford drawing. There's not a lot to him because he's just a dog and he's red and big. I also drew Emily Elizabeth for scale. And I think that's probably a good place for us to come to a stop tonight for the stream. Three illustrations in. It's after 9. Clifford obviously is a small kaiju, but could classify as a kaiju. There's no real definition. This is a thing that I tried very hard to figure out back when I was doing Kaijun. I was like, what is the size scale we're looking for here? There's a lot of large creatures. It kind of comes down to like, I feel like this is one of those places where there's some gray area from just being a giant creature and then fully being a kaiju. Because it's like in the robot world, you have power armor until you hit a certain size, and then it's robot armor. Because theoretically, power armor still has your body in most of it, whereas a robot armor is like a Gundam. Like you're in a cockpit. So like, power armor can scale all the way down to like Iron Man size, where it's literally just a set of armor wrapped around your body, to like roughly 12 foot tall, like the armor from Aliens. It's relative to the environment. I submit that a kaiju is any creature who is inappropriately large compared to their environment that they cannot help but wreak destruction. It's relative to the environment. In that case, Clifford is not a kaiju because it is clearly demonstrated in the cartoon that Clifford is capable of navigating his hometown without destroying anything. And your definition of a kaiju would say that he couldn't stop himself from destroying the town because he'd be so big. But since he is able to navigate the town without destruction, he therefore is not a kaiju. The Megazord could be power armor to Ultraman. Yes, that is absolutely true. The difference in power armor versus robot armor is whether or not it has a cockpit. A bull in a china shop is technically a kaiju. But I would argue that you're inappropriately large. So you're is in comparison to environment. I'm going to add a caveat. I don't think that counts. I don't think a bull in a china shop counts as a kaiju, because I think that it also has to be inappropriately large for the creature type. So like a normal sized bull in a normal sized china shop probably can't help but destroy things, but not so, although going back to your original point, not so much because of its size, but because of its inability to navigate a china shop. Like if a bull had the mental prowess and physical dexterity necessary to navigate the china shop without destruction, I think it could, regardless of its extra large size. However, a human being walking through a Smurf village would probably destroy it without even noticing. Like I think it's not just that you have to be so large that you can't help but reach destruction. I think you have to be so large that you reach destruction without necessarily noticing. But that's not true either, because Godzilla is actively destroying Tokyo. So, like, he is proactively, purposefully destroying Tokyo. He just also happens to do a lot of collateral damage. I don't know. There is an actual definition of a kaiju, but it's kind of vague and not necessarily like a great like determination in these situations, because the actual definition of the word kaiju is a giant monster of a type featured in Japanese fantasy and science fiction movies and television programs. So that's where we go. Like, I guess what that means is, by definition, Clifford can't be a kaiju because they has to be Japanese. The premise of the very charming show Hilda is that a little human girl accidentally tramples an elf village. See, that seems funny to me. Like that's kind of the idea. Also one of those things with like elder beings and cosmic horror, right? Like one of my favorite analogies, and I have no idea where this originated. So if someone knows the original version of this, where it came from, let me know. I would love to share it. The idea is like, if you want to understand why you can't understand Cthulhu, think of it this way. Imagine you are in your home one day and you just happen to hear this really soft, tiny chanting. And so you went looking for it. And in your laundry room, on the floor of your laundry room, was a little ant chanting your name. And it's interesting, right? An ant chanting your name is clearly curiosity. So you check it out, and because you check it out, the ant recognizes that you exist. And starts asking you for stuff. And because it's ant wishes, it's like, can I get a grain of sugar? So you're like, sure, you give it a grain of sugar, things like that. Little things that are easy for you to do completely means nothing to you. It means everything to the ant. And then one day the ant asks you for something like, can you kill my rival so that I can be the one that the queen loves? And you don't know how to do that. You can't tell any individual ant apart from every other ant. So you just put the garden hose down the anthill and flood them all. That's what cosmic deities are like. Cosmic entities. Wait. Shin Godzilla is not clear whether Godzilla is destroying Tokyo out of rage or if he's just wandering aimlessly in agony and spewing nuclear beams out of his body due to the hubris of man. Godzilla is a punishment sent to us by Cthulhu. Plain and simple, right there on the text. You don't have to overthink these things. let's just talk about the only thing I want to do is overthink these things. I think it depends on who's writing Godzilla. Also, there are multiple Godzilla continuities. There's different Godzillas. There's Godzilla sagas. There are different Godzillas taking place in different Godzilla worlds. Not all Godzillas fight monsters. Not all Godzillas destroy Tokyo. Some Godzillas destroy New York and look like giant iguanas. And then make a pretty decent Saturday morning cartoon spinoff that is way better than the movie. Sorry, Matthew Broderick. Anyway, all of this has been a long-winded way of saying thank you for coming and hanging out. Thank you for watching me while I doodle some doodles for you. I had a wonderful time. If you're not following me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram because we're going to put up a poll to name our Caveman Gumdrop Goblin. Get that name officialized and all that stuff. I will be back Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to draw more doodles. Stay warm, stay safe, stay cuddly for National Cuddle Up Day, and most importantly, as always, please remember to stay weird. I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Good night.